the domestic councillor issue, the effectiveness of councillors. There's somebody who had called and who wanted to talk to you, and I said I was going to check with you. He's in the UK, and he was talking about the water. Is it sewage or water?
Water and sewer are one department, pretty much.
Yeah, and that there's currently a big challenge with the.
Yeah.
What is the cash shortfall?
Well, we use $2.5 million worth of water treatment chemicals per month.
2.5 million. And how much can you afford from the city?
Well, we always buy.
So that is your current expenditure. But if you had,
but we can't get it from the Reserve Bank.
So what happens now?
We're running short of chemicals.
Okay.
So out of our 7, we are short of HTH chlorine. We are short of activated carbon, which is now why you see the issue we're facing, where the water is got issues in terms of odor, in terms of coloration. It's failing those basic tests.
Just hold on. Your lord, we call lordship or what?
Oh, your worship.
Your worship. Mshana, I got the mayor of Harare.
Oh,
yeah.
Your worship.
Yeah.
Good evening.
Mshana is in the UK.
All right.
And he had called me earlier to say, why don't we have a conversation with anyone responsible in Harare, just to see what the nature of the problem is, how big it is, and this whole issue of foreign currency or the money to procure materials. I think the mayor was just going through what he says. No, there is a new minister who's with a different approach to governance than the previous incumbent. So he is saying, look, there are physical challenges that the city confronts, and it boils down to access to the resources, the money, particularly foreign currency. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
So the envelope is too small on the one hand, but even when they have the money, they can't get the money to be remitted to the suppliers. Is that correct?
Correct.
And that becomes an administrative issue.
Yes.
Which is a domestic matter. So wherever you have...
I'll compound it and say, where we have failed to supply the money on time, the supplier then struggles, where the normal stream of supplying us can collapse simply because for a month or 2, we fail to give them the money.
That's right.
So it must be seamless, it must be continuous in terms of servicing our suppliers. Because sometimes they also queue for some of the products.
And most of your products are imported, is that correct?
Correct, and largely out of South Africa.
Largely out of South Africa. So, and your revenue stream is in dollars or in rands mainly?
It's in our dollars, which you know are not dollars.
Are not dollars, yeah. Oh, you mean the bond notes?
Yes.
So you may end up with a lot of bond notes, but no physical mechanism of paying for the supplies.
Yes.
Okay.
So we're operating on printed money.
Just to clarify, so when the constraints you are talking about, where you're saying when you have money, you may actually be unable to use it. Is this was the issue based mostly? Was it because of the Ministry of Local Government, or
no? It was based on central bank. We access all our money through the Reserve Bank. All our forex comes from the Reserve Bank, whether they're available to us directly or they're available to our suppliers, which is more common, that our suppliers would have one tender to suppliers for a given period, for a given quantity, for a given amount, then access the foreign currency from the Reserve Bank. And that is what has not been happening. What is sitting in our bank accounts is money that we call US dollars, but it's not US dollars.
So what about this idea that you have interested parties, individuals, organizations that really want to get involved in helping out in terms of sorting out the water problem? Is it true that your council has been making those efforts difficult, or is it just that these are just comments that are coming from individuals who do not know what they're talking about? Are you open for business to people who want to come and invest in making sure that the water in the city is clean, and that the pipes that needs to be repaired can be repaired? Are you opening it up as a council, or are there any other constraints that are making that process very difficult?
Okay, let me try and answer your question, the two angles that I picked up from. We get a number of inquiries around helping with water solutions. Helping in the context that normally comes up is that people with business interests who are in that particular industry, or seek to get that partners in that particular industry, either through joint ventures or outright suppliers. That's one lot. Our current suppliers all go through state procurement board processes. So the tendering process is always been slow. It awards one or two suppliers.
So you don't have any direct mechanism to procure your goods?
No, we don't.
So you don't have autonomy?
No, we don't have autonomy. That's why 5 years after the constitution was done, we are still battling for devolution.
So right now, what is within your sphere of influence?
Hello?
What is within your sphere of influence?
Let's say, for example,
your worship. Let's say, for example,
Mushana is answering first one, then we can come to you. Okay.
We as management, it's not even as councillors, mind you.
Yeah.
It's not even the mayor.
Yeah.
As management, they prepare the tender specs.
So the RIF request for proposal comes from you.
Yes.
And then after it's approved by council.
It doesn't even come to council. It's run by the procurement committee, which is made up of officials, of managers.
And how do they relate to the state procurement board?
The state procurement board is the supervising authority.
So
it approves the tender specs, and it awards the winners, the bidders.
And who does the adjudication?
They do, SPB.
With your technical support?
With our technical support coming from our managers.
Okay, then after it's awarded, then it comes back to you for execution.
It's not executed by our managers.
Okay.
Procurement is completely out of our hands.
You're not serious?
Yes. So even to put it in a very different angle, all the allegations of corruption around councillors don't quite belong to us, simply because procurement is the biggest area of corruption.
So you don't have jurisdiction over your own, but you collect revenues.
Yes.
And once you collect, it goes into a bank account.
Yes.
But it is not liquid.
It's not liquid. It's liquid in the Zim dollar, whatever.
No, but that's not liquidity. That's illiquid.
But still, what we are saying here, is that even though you've got money, you can't use it because
that's why I'm saying it's illiquid, because it's you can show a deposit of X amount, but you can't use it to procure goods and services to support the city. So this problem has been there since you started your term.
Yes, but it's obviously gotten worse, because when we started, the the bond note was available, the US dollar was available, so we could remit.
But what is the current situation in terms of the liquid position? Are you near liquid, half liquid, or maybe 1% liquid?
It's cancelled.
Yeah, it's cancelled. That you now have resources that ratepayers and service partners pay. Let's say
we've got a huge budget deficit, but we're liquid.
Yeah, I'm saying that liquidity is only prescribed in terms of the local currency or whatever.
Yes. Only that.
And you don't have a migration into US dollars. That is seamless.
No.
So you know,
migration into US dollars is via the Reserve Bank, and it's only for import.
Even
And that's administrative.
if they do get it, isn't it? They're saying it's being given to it's being controlled by the State Procurement Board.
No, I'm saying the State Procurement Board does the administrative side, but the the cash side is what is raising that he still has to go. They still have to go through the Reserve Bank to be able to convert the liquid position in bond notes or some local equivalent. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So at the end of the day, you are between a rock and a hard place.
Correct.
But the people who elect...
But now we find it very interesting because, you see, when we hear stories of the council, paying X million dollars for a football club, and yet the water is not running, people get confused. They don't understand the logistics behind. So some of these things need to be... Yeah,
that's an embarrassing aspect. I've been fighting it for the past 3 years. Yeah. We have just about won the battle, but pretty much via the back door, because that team that got below that money got relegated from the Premier League.
Oh, so fortuitously it was relegated.
Yes, it was divine intervention, really, not that we got clever. I was
smart. But what is your relationship with this football club or whatever?
Well, I'm supposed to be the patron, and I've been the patron since I came in. But since I started making noises about the misallocation of resources, I've had no joy in getting the figures. Disclosure was poor.
But who is it falls under your jurisdiction or?
It's a conflicted jurisdiction.
Okay.
Where the senior managers and some councillors.
Okay, so they are
talking about the town clerk's department.
Well, the FD, like the city treasurer, was also the treasurer for the football club.
So there's a conflict of interest.
It's all under the town clerk's department.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Well, the conflict of interest was the one of putting it, but it's been poorly oversighted. It's been poor oversight on the matter. Everyone is really overlapping roles, and that's why they can never control. They can never stop the abuse of funds.
But there's one issue
meetings beforehand with all those involved, with you present as the patron.
Sorry, can you come through again?
So I'm saying, do you not hold a regular meeting?
Well, being patron is honorary, so I have committed myself that I would do just the ceremonial aspect. I would attend 1 away game, 3 local games.
Okay.
That was my commitment. That was my commitment per year.
Okay. Hello?
Hello?
Let's see. I think there seems to be another call coming. There's somebody from the US who is calling. Let me see what we can do with him. Okay, so essentially you are hamstrung. Because even if the team was to remain, it won't solve your problems.
Well, I'll tell you one thing as well. After all my noise is about the football budget.
Yeah.
We were paying $2 million a season for our team. The average team sponsorship is around 300. So we're like 7 times.
How much were you paying?
Average. $2 million a year.
2 million what? Dollars?
Dollars.
Oh,
Yes. Are you sitting down?
And
you gotta be seated to absorb it.
Yeah. And this is a legacy issue.
Well, it's recent. It's in the last 4 years.
But you inherited the team.
We inherited the team.
No, but
it was graduating from a social side into, or from a lower division side into Premier League.
Okay. So now it graduated under your watch.
Yes.
So congratulations is in order.
Yeah, but the 400 would live with it.
Yeah.
But not the 500. No, not the 5 times that.
What I'm saying is that is now the extravagance that comes with it. But the principle of having a team to boost morale as a branding opportunity is not a bad thing. The question is,
I suppose one would
nice to have, not need to have.
Those
But
companies
when you have it, and it's at a cost, that's
then you can't afford it. Then it becomes a public policy issue.
Correct.
Okay, so now we come to your own relationship with a national government.
Okay.
What are the legal impediments that stand in the way of devolution?
Well, the Constitution has prescribed devolution.
Yeah.
With a huge preamble.
Yeah.
The Minister of Local Government, in my view, is the Minister of Devolution.
Okay.
He should be championing devolution.
Okay.
The last two ministers have resisted devolution. They have fought against devolution.
Okay.
The number of references to in the Urban Councils Act to the minister may, the minister may, the minister shall, the minister shall.
Yeah.
The provisions of reference or seeking authority from the minister in the Urban Councils Act are so many.
Okay.
But in the preamble to the Constitution, there is a condition that the Supreme Law is supreme. Any aspect of any law
that is inconsistent with the
Constitution is null and void to the extent of that inconsistency.
Inconsistency. Yeah.
Yes.
And what is now the legal opinion? I mean, obviously you can say under Honorable Kasukuere, we only read about the ping pong. Was it true or it was imagined in the media?
Which one?
The ping pong, like there was a fight, because obviously you are one large department.
Yes, I mean I fought them out of principle.
Okay.
I was suspended twice. I was arrested once.
Yeah. You were arrested?
So, yes, they locked me up for 2 days.
You're not serious?
Yes.
Under what authority?
Oh, they came up with some trumped-up charges, anti-corruption, that and the other.
Who is they now?
The ministers. I was suspended by Kasukuere.
Yeah.
When I returned when they expired the suspension, when they couldn't bring a case to the tribunal to try me for anything, I resumed my duties at Town House. And the same day he wrote me saying, "You welcome back to Town House." The same day he wrote me saying, "You are suspended again."
You're not serious. And this was outside the four corners of the law.
Well,
definitely outside.
But blatantly,
No, I'm saying is first, before you suspend me, you must notify me of what mischief I've.
No, you don't know those guys.
They were cowboys.
Yeah, in fact, it was also to their detriment, because while I was inside, Minister Chinamasa was in France. Trying to renegotiate our position with the multilaterals.
You're not serious?
In that same boardroom, he didn't know I was arrested. He was in Paris. In the same boardroom while he was presenting Zimbabwe's case for debt rescheduling. Then one of the guys said to him, "But we can't trust you. You've arrested your mayor for nothing. Your mayor is behind bars for nothing." And he didn't know. So they threw him and kept the ball right in the middle of a very crucial meeting. And I was getting SMS messages from people who were in that boardroom.
In prison?
Yeah, no, when I was at the police station.
So you were placed on what? On remand or kangaroo arrest?
Well, it was just an arrest. I never got to. When I went for trial, I overstayed the 48 hours prescribed, so I had to be released when the operation was that close. That you can't hold. You must be brought to trial to competent court within 48 hours.
Okay, so they take you inside.
So I suppose we are now focusing on the old.
Historical. Let's get back to.
Okay, so now that you are back to the water side, I mean, the relationship between you and the previous minister had some challenges.
Serious ones, yeah.
Okay, and then now you are optimistic.
I think it's looking much better.
And you are coming.
I hope I'm not speaking too soon, but the new minister has come out with a very different disposition.
Have you met with the minister since his appointment?
Yes.
Okay, yes. So that's done. Yes. So when you look at your term is coming to an end.
Yes, I'm leaving in 7 months' time.
In 7 months, so we can say congratulations, you've lasted this far.
Ebenezer, so far.
Okay, and now you are not standing.
No, I'm not.
You have done your term.
I've done my
term. Honorable the worship.
So that's a good sign that at least there's something to learn from. And when you look back, this partisanship, does it affect service delivery?
We try and run the city without partisan politics.
Okay.
Yes, we do caucus. On sensitive issues, we do talk to the party. On very sensitive matters, I talk to Morgan directly and say, can I see over this thing? And he provides me the political guidance on very sensitive matters. But
so at least this is self-government. This is one city where the MDC is a majority councillors, is it?
No, we're the majority in the big 5 or big 6.
Okay.
The local authorities.
Yeah.
And I'm the president of both the urban mayors.
So you when people challenge you're ready to govern, you are saying actually you are government, except there are challenges.
It's we're a mini government.
And a big one.
Yes, we're as big as 10 small government ministries combined.
You're not serious?
Yes.
I mean, they run the cities.
Look at Harare with 32 clinics.
32?
Yes, we're a bigger healthcare provider in Harare than the Ministry of Health.
Okay. So that's and in terms of staffing? Staffing,
yeah, 7,500 bloated and overpaid.
Yeah, no, so that's a big establishment. Okay, and this land issue, is it a real or that?
Which land issue?
I mean, we hear former minister, we don't want to. Chombo is being accused of some land in Harare, but that happened before you came in.
That happened before we came in. It happened. Those allegations have always been there.
But they don't fall within your ambit.
Well, easily some of them could encroach onto my channels.
Okay.
Whether but nothing too directly, nothing that I would have known directly.
But you did work with him. You did work with him.
Yes, I did. I worked with him. He was my first minister.
How was your interface?
He was more diplomatic than Kasukwere.
Okay.
In trying to handle conflict.
Okay.
He was as conflicted as Kasukwere, as partisan as Kasukwere. But Kasukwere was a bit of a thug. Ignatius tried to be more of a gentleman.
Okay, but at least you could have a working relationship diplomatically that would give you some comfort.
Yes.
But in terms of conflict, is it real or imagined?
There was more conflict. There was more conflict with Kasukwere than with Chombo.
No, I'm saying in terms of this land issue, obviously a municipality, the big part of it relates to land.
Yes.
And how land is allocated, yes. How land is zoned, and how it's developed.
We also have a problem that we don't have enough land.
We
have a land bank. But we are here, we are asking the federal government to give us more land around the city, particularly for
Can
housing.
I just ask a quick question there, just touching on land itself? Is it constitutional that council allocates tribal trust lands?
No, all our land is urban.
Sorry?
All our
no, their land is urban, is demarcated.
Yes,
what?
Yes. Yeah, my question is it constitutional for them to then allocate land that is tribal trust land?
No, we don't have it. We don't have it to allocate.
They don't have access to it because it falls outside their jurisdiction.
Correct.
So they have a jurisdictional issue.
Okay,
so
but let me help you as well.
Okay, may I?
Recent development,
yeah,
is that the smaller rural authorities, rural district councils around Harare, are selling land right on our borders.
Oh, so they are affiliating to you without the following the protocol.
Yes, what they're doing now, they are essentially, it's their land, it's their area, but they're coming right close to our border.
But they won't get the same rights as you can give them, the landowners.
No, eventually they will, and secondly, they are riding on their ability, on our ability to be forced to give them services.
But outside,
okay. Are they allowed to even sell that land? Because it's protected land by the Constitution.
And they're doing it.
And the Constitution says that that land can only, dealing with that land has to be through an act of parliament. And we have not had any parliament sitting to discuss those issues. So I wonder how they are able to do that.
Okay. I think it's been largely on housing, and I think because it's housing, it is either escaped the finer details of the law which you are making reference to, because there's just a wave of supporting housing.
Okay.
And it's largely housing. I'm not sure whether the other people land for any other use.
I can see a problem in the future where we are going to see a reversal of this because it's unconstitutional and it's illegal. So it's going to be another situation where people have been sold things, land that they're not supposed to be staying in.
Okay. My understanding of local politics is that such possibility is remote. It will be too politically unattractive to dispossess them of their houses, especially if they have bought them directly from a local council, a rural council.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's illegal at the moment. If somebody if a citizen was going to challenge that in court, this is going to be a nightmare because they can't. There's no way they can make that right.
That's correct. If there's that unexpected challenge, I think they would have a problem.
Okay, Mayor, you are very popular. You should run for another office. There are a lot of questions here, and some of them, I think you would be full time on air. We just hijacked you, but I'll just pick up some of the questions that arise. Is it true that water plant is 60 years old with capacity for 300,000 people?
Yes, that was the original capacity. So it's outstripped its design by 12 times.
12 times?
Easily.
And the Zimbabwean people have suffered enough. Please, if they can't do the job, resign and give other people chances. I don't think you put yourself in that position. You elected, is it?
The issue is that it's not about the person.
Yeah.
It's about the operating framework.
And the institutional setting.
Yes. For a lot of the commentators around that subject matter, they look at the Herman Mashaba in Joburg.
Yeah.
Ben Manyenyeni in Harare, and they think mayor means mayor. It doesn't, it's not the same.
No, in fact, they forget that even you also have a metropolitan structure, is it?
We're supposed to have a metropolitan structure, and out of that, I'm supposed to be the chairman of the Harare Metropolitan Council, which should include not only Arua Depos.
But now there's also a minister of state, is it?
Yes, there's a minister of state who is basically a political representative of the president.
But in your jurisdiction, where you are accountable to the ratepayers and the residents, yet you don't have full control over the resources that you are supposed to be accountable for.
That's correct.
So I think this.
So, Mayor, are you saying that from the revenue that you get, you don't? It's very difficult for you to use it as council.
No, we have every right and every opportunity to use it. It's under our control.
But what he's saying is that to procure the goods, then it's outsourced to a national, and which is a key part of the outside salaries and admin costs. The capital budget, you are not in control of it.
Yeah,
so what I'm interested in finding out is over the years, those companies that were awarded the tenders, what have been the constraints with them? Why did we still have this water situation at the moment?
No, there's been no constraints. The constraints are recent.
What he's saying is that the capacity to access the money in foreign currency, because most of the goods and services are denominated in rand. So the money has to find its way into a rand form.
Correct.
And they don't have that capacity without going through the Reserve Bank. It's not a market.
So it's not releasing funds to.
No, one is the availability of the money itself, that they have sought to introduce a new currency, which is not tradable. And there's nothing the mayor can do.
In terms of Harare and the availability of the local currency, we don't have a problem. We always prioritize it for water chemicals. The top priority.
And also for your salaries, for the bloated, you still have to pay your workers anyway.
Yes, our salaries are a disaster.
Yeah.
But Mawere, what I'm saying is, we have companies that were awarded, contracts.
Yeah.
So
then now, let's say you are a South African supplier. You are a South African supplier of chlorine, and you are domiciled in South Africa. Before you dispatch, you need to be paid in rands.
Correct.
And that's where the difficulty is, that they have no mechanism of making good to their suppliers without going through the administrative process where there's no certainty, and the timing when you get the money and the quantum of it becomes issues that you are not in control of.
Yes.
So then they have now a supply chain bottleneck, although they may have evidence that they got the equivalent to be able to discharge that obligation.
Correct.
So that's one side of it. The second is in terms of capital budget. Without the intervention of the national government, they are not able to access the resources enough. Then they are accused of corruption in the meantime. And without an appreciation of the institutional framework that they are operating under, and what should be the KPI indicators for the management of the city, and what should fall outside their control. So that's one side of it. And where you have a party that is not the ruling party, that controls the major areas of human concentration, where does politics start and end? And okay, go ahead.
Historically, let me also say, we basically admit we've got a failed government.
Mm-hmm.
But in that context, local government is actually one of the best performing aspects of this government. So when you have projects in the city that bring the limelight, that may have political dividends, they really partner with us in terms of the limelight.
So they are competing with the mayor.
They love the limelight. They will participate. That's historical. They love to do the ribbon cutting things, the cake cutting things when we're doing the right things.
But I thought there was some point, there was some Chinese money that came in form of goods that were a convoluted scheme for other people to make some money.
Or easily, we never get the full anatomy, the full DNA of these transactions.
Yeah.
Yes, we got a Chinese loan for 144 million. Okay. Of this, we've accessed 72.
What happened to the balance?
The balance is still to be accessed, but we can only access it if Central fixes or settle these other obligations.
Oh, so it was
the amount due to these Chinese lenders, which have got nothing to do with our 144, but they are part of the same.
There are certain obligations that have to be met,
yes,
and that affect the overall portfolio of loans.
Yes.
And the 72 that you got, I think Mishana is saying, in what form did it come in? In form of goods, personnel, or project?
You know the Chinese. The money never left China.
Or the money was in Hong Kong and Shanghai and Beijing. And what you got was the invoices.
Yes, you got the invoices. We supply the materials. Here's our labor. Here's this.
But I think those are the sort of things we should now say no to.
Now, when you are on your knees, what do you say no to?
Yes, that's correct. The reason why we're only going to the Chinese for our financial solutions, for infrastructure, is because they're the ones who are the easiest.
No, they're the only ones. That's the only game in town.
Yeah.
And I welcome Dr. Shumba, who is also with us from the United States. Sure. Dr. Shumba, we have the mayor, we have hijacked him, but it's not a coup d'etat.
No, thank you. Hey, Mr. Mayor, how are you?
Very well, Mr. Shumba, how are you?
I'm well, thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you for your time. I'm leaving now. But thank you very much.
Okay, yeah, we will also release the mayor. We have too many questions, but I think he has been more than generous. But maybe, Dr. Shumba, do you have any question for the mayor?
I think I understand this situation. Me as a former MDCT, being there with the mayor, it's an untenable situation he is in. It's between a hard place and hard place. I don't know how to put it clearly, but I'm apprehensive. But I think for me, clearly to Mr. Mayor is when we have these scandals happening under our watch as opposition, where does the line stops of culpability? When we say we have the power to stop it, or we don't?
Okay, there is a political power which, like we've always said, has always resided in central government. The ministers have taken control. The city has been captured, and the the political hand has been at play throughout. When it comes to the resident and the stakeholder, the expectations is that the mayor will deliver because the mayor leads council, because the elected council and councillors in the mayor.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a mismatch, a misalignment there. And when it comes to execution as well, the residents know better. They know of mayor and mayor, that's what it means. They've got no distinction between a non-executive mayor and an executive mayor. So we, in our daily lives, we carry executive expectations out of a non-executive office.
And also there is a question from Brighton. So I said local authorities should be able to borrow money on the open market. We can argue and politicize all this stuff, but overall the underlying problem within the country is that of lack of well-functioning local financial markets. Then Pearl says, please clarify, is the hurdle to accessing the money to pay vendors solely because of RBZ, solely because RBZ is not allowing you to access the foreign currency or the real money to pay?
Yeah, that's correct. For water chemicals, we will not fail to find the local equivalent.
Okay, so you are saying the real problem is this access.
Yes.
Yeah. And then Kuda says misplaced priorities. Harare city budgets surpass the budgets of welfare, of clean water. Why are being paid then? I don't know what the question is.
I think Harare City, I think the reference there was to the soccer team.
Oh, okay. So that's but even if you were to get the $2 million, it will still be in the currency that you have a problem with.
Yes.
It still won't cure the payment to vendors.
No, it won't. If our vendors are supplying us with local product, it will work. But where our vendors or the product is imported and the payment is required outside of our borders, the offshore payments can only be made through the Reserve Bank.
Okay,
which is where the bottleneck is.
So you're saying in Rio, I think the real constraint is the domestication of the problem, because like many people who have money on demand, when they demand the money, they can't get it. And they can't use it for the purpose for which they want to use it. It's effectively in a cul-de-sac. So, but from your side, when we talk about water losses, technical and non-technical, what is the percentage?
Easily 2/3.
So more than 67%.
62% about that's the number that's been planted.
Shit. So that's a big problem.
Yeah, that's both.
Mr. Mawere.
That's the total non-revenue water loss.
Water loss. So you only left, and on that revenue base, what is the collection?
Our billing efficiency has been between 50 and 60%.
So that's good.
Yeah,
so if you resolve some of the technical issues.
Yes.
Mr. Mawere.
Revenue collection, I've made proposals. I think one of the most positive responses I got from Minister Kasukwere was 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, let's ride on the ZESA prepaid platform.
Yeah.
Because your electricity is for want of a better word, is a compulsory expenditure.
Yeah.
Whereas your rates are a discretionary expenditure.
That's right.
You will decide whether or not to pay your rates.
Yeah.
But if each time you're going to pay your electricity, you are forced to drop even 10% of whatever you're consuming in dollars, if 10% goes to the municipality into your account, our revenue assurance will have such a huge boost.
Okay, so that's and what was the response?
Yeah, he accepted it within 10 minutes. Minister Namasa accepted it within 24 hours.
Okay.
Which, if you read the budget statement for 2016, which was read in Parliament in 2015, I think he dedicated 2 or 3 paragraphs to that particular model of collecting revenue. And And it was my submission verbatim that he asked for, and he put copy and paste as it is. So that level of acceptance was unusual. The pace of them agreeing to such a proposal.
And where could be the mischief if they all agreed within a short period of time? Wouldn't you smell a rat?
No, there were, I think both gentlemen requested here. Where the problem now is that getting the ZESA board to approve it, to get it to get the ball rolling. That's where we struggle.
But then
I kept going back to the minister now, saying, listen, it's your duty to talk to the Minister of Energy so that he puts pressure on ZESA so that we can ride on this.
But there are some people in the diaspora who are saying, look, we want to put our money, maybe a crowdfunding for the city. Devolution will encourage such kind of smart partnerships.
Correct.
And how best can I know you are on the 11th hour of your tenure.
Yeah.
How best can this be done? Whether it's in terms of payment mechanisms, using disruptive methods of payment, and having electronic way of payment, and then being able to find a smart way where you have remittances, where you are holding a local currency, and there are people in the diaspora who are holding dollars, and then find a way of trading that. Because you might find that Western Union, MoneyGram, they are doing the same cross-border transactions, but you are holding an asset in Zimbabwe, which you have access to. But then the physical cash could be in South Africa or UK.
Okay.
So if we unitized it and said, let's do 500 Rand per unit,
Okay.
then you release the equivalent in Zim, they credit your account in rands. And then that becomes a way of matching, because money is still flowing in. But the right now it's a killer because people are trading in cash. And those who need it don't get it.
Correct.
And then it becomes a new intermediation where there's no value added.
The people are living off that.
Yeah.
Mr. Mawere, I have a question for the mayor before he leaves.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, on October 29, 2016, the Herald ran a story headlined "Council in 13 million sewer tender scandal." Is this factual? I know the Herald tends to twist facts.
I think he didn't hear what
you said that.
Yes, on October 29, 2016, the Herald ran a story. Do you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, sure. Ran a story titled "Council in 13 million sewer tender scandal." Is this a fact or these are?
I'm losing you there.
Yeah. So my question is the first question is this.
What did the story read? What was the storyline?
The storyline was "Council in 13 million sewer tender scandal," and the story says the council awarded a contract to a local company, Energy Resources Africa Consortium, ERA, which was not formally registered. And the country has been paying the firm millions of dollars since 2011. Although the two parties did not have a contract.
Hello?
Yes.
Can I restrain myself there? 3 of my councillors are on suspension over that matter. It's before the court. If I could.
So it's a subjudicate.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my question was, there were 3 companies which were formed by this era in a partnership with the council. So I just wanted to know the current position.
I can't comment.
Yeah, he says the matter is before the courts and it involves some of the councillors who were part of the I guess Grace is asking why should they control our local currency? It's really not local currency per se, but I think in a bid to ease the cash crisis, they have come up with some innovations which are causing some challenges for the city and many other people. So the issue of cash and the payments to foreign contractors and suppliers is a live one. It requires, I think, sober minds to look at it and also to recognize. I think the mayor is just sharing the reality of the situation on the ground. That whereas people may be euphoric, may be anticipatory, the situation on the ground is not changed. They can only do that which is in their competence to do so and under their control. So one can't extend the envelope beyond what it is. That's what it is. But if there are innovations, there are alternatives, and if you are out there, you are listening, and perhaps we should also give the mayor an opportunity to perhaps use this platform, because you never know who is listening. There could be people in national government who are listening and who may want to apportion blame to the people in the coalface, when the blame could be actually a shared one. That there's no MDC water, there is no ZANU PF water, there is one city, and it's a unicity. It deals with everybody. Those who decide not to vote, those who vote. Once you're a mayor for everybody.
Yes, you're mayor of the city, not mayor of the party.
That's right. So that conflict, unless it's literacy is enhanced around it, some people think that you are only there to deal with MDC issues, but actually there is no money that can be separated or is divisible into partisan money. And how many meetings does the mayor have a year with the finance minister? The mayor is like the president of the city. The mayor is the chairman of the council, is it?
Yes.
And you are an executive mayor.
No, I'm not executive.
Oh, you're not executive?
No, I'm not executive.
So you are the most abused person.
Yes, it's a funny one.
So all this work that you get blamed for is you are not paid for that work, except for sitting.
I get an allowance of $1,250 a month.
You're not serious.
Which is 1/7 of what I was getting in a corporate job. Which job I lost.
So, Ms. Mawere, I have a question for the mayor.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, from your experience, especially dealing with the minister, councillors, town clerk in a non-executive position, what advice do you give to the next government or the population when we look at our constitution? Should we retain non-executive mayor or we need an executive mayor? I know the seat I am here, the mayor is executive. What are your thoughts from your experience? Can you share with the people?
Okay, from the little that I think I've captured from your question,
sure.
Before you have an executive mayor, it must get louder and louder. You cannot expect executive outcomes from a non-executive person.
Yes.
No, that's all. Yeah.
If we're going to do this, just mind the psychology of the office. Maybe we should rebrand from mayor to chairman of council. Maybe it might just realign the expectations.
But I think I didn't know. I thought you were, for the hustle that you were going through, I thought you were executive.
No.
So
I'm the business non-executive director, non-executive chairman of anybody in the country.
Yeah, because it consumes time just even to deal with the issues and be on top of what is going on.
Yeah, I think, Mr. Mayor, thank you.
90% of the ministers.
And then Pearl Chuesha says, how can we help the mayor immediately? Is he easily and readily accessible so diaspora can help him? I guess she means help the city, because you have not asked for help for your personal needs.
No, it's a very open. That's a very open remark, and the city is wide. And I don't know the basis of the inquiry. Where are they coming from? What do they think they can help? Is it advisory work? Is it governance? Is it resource mobilization? Would need to know. But as for me personally, I'm accessible 24/7. I belong to the social media era. I've faced the social media era, mayor for the city, so I'm that accessible. I think
that's how I managed to hijack you.
No, that's true.
Yeah, if it's no situation, I think we are linked in on one or more of the platforms.
So, Pearl, you are already part of the WhatsApp group or the Facebook group. So I think So I think the moral of the story is, please, it's your city, it's your country, it's your mayor, and feel free to engage and demystify some of the things that we often read in the newspaper without a context. And the content may be interesting, but we simply don't have the facts to challenge what is being said. So I think
the other thing I would still have to mention is that for the size of the task, we do need certain competencies in council among the elected.
Yeah.
Like I'm saying, we're the biggest board of directors in the country. We supervise professionals. We run $400 million budgets, which can treble. The caliber and style of the elected must be upscaled.
But then you also are caught.
What I'm calling for is the right mix of technical competencies, political strength, social activism, community spirit. All those must come together into having a competent council or competent councils across all the local authorities.
But then you need also a budget to be able to support that. You can't bring people and pay them monkey nuts.
Yeah, well, funny that you say. I'm almost of two very opposing angles. One would be maybe make it 100% voluntary, don't get anything.
But you are the only Mother Teresa there. For 1,200, you must be Mother Teresa of Salvation Army.
But somebody has to do it in America and did it.
Yeah, that's why we need to give you an award.
The other option would be to make it so attractive that it becomes irresistible for the people who are sitting on the fence, who are not so sure that they'd love to or they'd avail themselves to serve as councillors.
So I think we need I think that's part of the debate.
I have the split mind that particularly in Harare and Bulawayo, if you can get the people to do it as a service for free, it might be one option. If you can get it to attract people because of the rewards, because of the decent remuneration, it's also an option.
Now I think we have to talk about what
we really need are certain competencies. Like I said 2 years ago, in 1927, this city had 2 lawyers among its councillors.
Yeah.
90 years later, the whole country, over 1,800 councillors, only 1 lawyer. We're dealing with contracts, we're dealing with complex matters every single meeting.
Yeah, I think those are issues because some people don't know what a city is. It's actually a country. It has its own governance. And you are the coreface. You deal with daily with human problems, and problems are solved at the local level. And I see this Carlton Brown says, "Greetings, Mayor of Harare, my sister city from Cincinnati, Ohio." Carlton Brown Foundation. and friends of the African Union, united we stand. Yeah, so I think so we thank you very much, and I know there's a lot that can be said, but all we can ask is the mayor, if you give us a time, then we can provide a platform for you to be able to educate the people, to raise awareness about the real stuff that is taking place, the challenges that you face. Also, this human capacity issue. There are no easy answers.
What I would urge those diasporans, if they want to engage with me, maybe their WhatsApp groups, we can agree a particular time where I'm with them for an hour or two.
That's right.
And we just thrash out issues. The city requires a lot of unpacking. People just don't understand this animal in its current context.
So I think we can agree. I host the show, and we can agree to use this platform to be able to deepen and broaden understanding of what the issues are. And if there are solutions, then they will emerge from talking to each other. And I see Carlton says, and we have access to purchase technology to bring solutions to the Zimbabwean people. Water, Zim assets will give us the capital to assist all of Zimbabwe. Again, those are the conversations that are required. And Pearl says the situation is untenable. We have to do something as citizens. I think first is to talk about it, then obviously find feasible solutions that can take us far, that also democratize this supply chain. And we have permission to do business with the government of Zimbabwe from State Department of United States, and he does give his number. So if you go to my wall, Carlton says, please call me. And the people in the United States, if there's anything that you can do to assist. And Mayor Dr. Shumba, do you have any summary? You may want to be a president of a bankrupt city, but I don't know.
Yeah. I think my summary is there should be a better job in articulating the non-executive nature of the current mayorship, because expectations are misaligned. And I'm sure there are so many citizens who have insulted the mayor for things which are beyond his control. And I don't know if it has been communicated to people other than, well, is the minister who has said this, and people just felt that the mayorship was a weak personality, not knowing the extent of the limitations in the position. So certainly I, as one of the people who is interested in the higher office, I'll be pushing our party to ensure that we have a parliament which will advocate for an executive mayor for all cities in Zimbabwe. Number two, what I want to reiterate, a very good point which has been raised by the mayor, which is participation in council elections. People who are enlightened, people with special skills, stay away from being candidates, from the politics. So in the end, the mayor has a pool of councillors who are ill-equipped to tackle some of the tasks they are assigned to in the committees. So the people who are listening today, if you are in Harare, Bulawayo, Mutare, please heed this message, which started from the mayor, that it is your right to make the decisions which affect you. And if you don't participate and you have the skill set, someone else will participate with no skill set and will make the wrong decision. All these scandals, this looting, it's because the people who end up left in the pool for elections are not the best people who are supposed to be there because people are staying away. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I appreciate. I listen to you, and I know we speak frequently offline. I know that.
And the mayor, any closing remarks?
Yes, I think back to 2018. I still insist, unknown to many, that it's the city is a station of service that requires capacity and competencies more than parliament.
Okay.
I don't know that people really appreciate that. That in council, the skills and competence to serve are required more than in the House of Parliament. So those who may be aspiring to be MP, I would say, if you've got a heart for the people and a heart for service, the city is just as much a point of service. Politically, it's a lower tier of service, it's a lower line of service, but that's not what what it really means in practical terms. In practical terms, the requirement is higher, the needs are higher at serving the municipality. I've come across mayors who are former ministers.
Yeah.
I mean, Montreal, I think the mayor is Kode, he was former minister. Addis Ababa, the Driba Kuma, I think was a former minister. They are ministers who opt to become mayors.
And I think you remember President Zuma said when he leaves politics, you'll be a councillor in Uganda. And so I think all those things add up. And I think, Mayor, there's a lot of demand. People want to know when we can engage with you. And again, so that we can give them time, because today we just hijacked them. So when are you, what times are you, at night will be better, is it?
Well, I'm easy. Well, after I've worked to about this time, but didn't have from morning to about this time, Zoom time. Okay,
so we'll engage you, and as you live, are there areas that you are passionate about? That I'm
passionate about governance.
One is governance.
Facts and figures shared by the community, by the residents. I also want an upscaling of our understanding of council finances, especially among the elected. If not for now, at least the next cohort of councillors countrywide must have a fair understanding of the finances. In my book.
So if we say for governance literacy, then talk to the mayor. Then financial literacy, just understanding that being elected councillor or mayor does not make you financially literate.
No.
That being appointed a minister or being elected a member of parliament does not make you financially literate, or even understanding governance, because you have taught us a lot. Just being arrested itself, just the mayor being fired 1 week and fighting back using the courts, not becoming violent, but fighting within the four corners of the law and coming out a winner. And there are people who would have wished that you are not a mayor today, but they have accepted defeat. And just the idea that you can fight back and be able to keep the flag of justice, fairness alive. Those are lessons that we sometimes don't get. We talk to each other and forget that there are people on the ground who could be a president one day, and that actually there's nothing that you can't do that a president can do. And you have been there. So there is a lot that we can share in the context of your association of elected office bearers in local councils. We also want to hear your insights. Bulawayo may be facing a diminishing population or industrial base. How do you sustain a city when all the variables are not in your favor? How do you keep Harare going when people find their own alternative ways of surviving without interface with local council and the parking bays and whatever. So we can say talk to the mayor until you get, and you never know that you may ignite people to be active. You may inspire people not to take anything for granted. And that's the whole purpose of conversations.
Yes, I will tell you as well that when I became mayor, it ignited a bit of passion.
Yeah.
A lot of people said, if such an ordinary guy can be mayor of the capital city, why don't I work to be the next mayor?
That's right.
Easily, I could have ignited 30 people, possibly of superior profiles than myself, who then thought this thing is up for grabs. Anyone can do it. This guy can be mayor. But with what I've gone through, if I had 30 such aspirants, by now I'll be lucky to be talking of 3.
That's right.
Because people are all saying, is it really worth it? Do I need to close my business for this? Do I need to lose my job for this? Do I need my profession tainted for this? I'd rather be home, doing my own things, running my businesses, or working my professional job.
And we can't imagine I want to be at the mountain top. Then I want to pull those people who are already where I want to go. And if I want to be mayor, where best can I learn about what it means to be a mayor than from somebody who is a mayor or who has been a mayor? So there's a lot of lessons about governance that we pontificate, hallucinate, and imagine without even the courtesy or decency of talking to people like you. So I think I thank you very much. And
that one as well, I say a lot of the performance attribution around local government, whether it's mayor or councillors or management, a lot of the performance attribution that takes place is based on very naive angles, very maybe common understanding of how businesses run. Whereas the DNA of council is a very different animal.
In fact, most people, imagine how many people want to be president. They've never understood what a president actually does. And just say, Mayor, just take us through your day. What happens when you wake up? Yeah. What happens? And you may find that you don't even have free time.
Yeah.
And
I work 8 days a week. And I've accepted it. My family has accepted it.
But I'm saying is how many people actually know that some of the things that come before you need not come to you.
Correct.
But people want to abuse the mayor. They want to talk to the mayor, even about matters that fall outside your jurisdiction. Yeah. So those are the things, and we can also build an African community of mayors. Because you are already mayors. Yemen Mashaba is here. We talk about Ekuruleni, talk about Swane, and all these metropoles. Where is the platform where there can be an interchange of ideas, and how one city?
And again, as we try and drag the solutions forward, we must even be going back to the template and saying, is it the template serving us best?
That's right.
Do we need, if it is a country, if you ask me now, as a country, I'll say partisan politics has killed us.
Even just talking to, the treatment that you just highlighted, I think a mayor is arrested. Yeah. And then what do you expect now of the people down? And that's already a public expression that there is no bridge between local and national, and that there is no other civilized way of working.
I even go to the extent of saying, I don't want to be protected if I do wrong.
Yeah.
But people must also respect the institution. The office of mayor, particularly of the capital city, should be an institution that must be protected by all. You don't want a situation where your mayor is arrested, especially when you know there's really no charge.
In fact, just the mayor, I would want to call you maybe even tomorrow to say, can we talk about this arrest? What was the cause of action? What was the dispute? Why, how did we get to this stage where this civility in civic matters evaporates, and then we begin to what? to treat each other as animals. Where we disagree, we become disagreeable. How do we bring...
The office of mayor is a unifying office. It should be Baba Zonke, it should bring everybody together. It should not a political battlefield.
That's what it should be, but in reality, you may find that the minister feels threatened by the mayor. When actually, if the mayor does well, the minister is doing a good job.
I think there's a lot of glory that could come out of our successes. That would come out of our successes if we just share the glory of the successes.
But where do I learn what a mayor is if I'm just appointed from parliament, become a minister? Then I start having to figure out, how do I compliment the mayor? How do I compliment the council? That at the end of the day, the ministers may be drinking the same dirty water that everybody else is drinking. And there is nothing that they can do at the national level without engaging the mayor, engaging the council. So there are a lot of things that we don't appreciate, and you happen to be in the capital city. So there's an added responsibility, and people may not appreciate it. So I think, thank you very much. I think it's
fantastic.
Time well spent. I'll send you the podcast. Then you may also share it with your colleagues.
Fantastic.
Okay, thanks, man.
Bye-bye.
Bye.